Donald Trump has announced that as of next month, the US dollar will no longer be the official currency of the United States. In its place will be a national cryptocurrency called Liberty Coin. The US officially says goodbye to the US dollar. This isn't just a shift in the way payments are made, it's a disruption of the global financial landscape. Liberty Coin Bank declares bankruptcy as millions of depositors go on a withdrawal spree. Wall Street suffered a Black Friday and international markets were in chaos. China, the European Union, Russia, quickly pushing back, refusing to adopt free coin transactions, and Trump threw out a heavy-handed promise in the
Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but in the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Kol halo Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachakodash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the 144,000 men that are preaching this truth and pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the globe as we speak. Shalom to the innumerable 1/3. I was blessed with the mark of the Dawah, which is exemption from the judgment that's fast approaching. I'm the brother Yazarayala, GMS Dallas Camp, coming back at you with another quick hit lesson. I'm on my lunch break here. Came across this through one of the brothers. The title of this lesson is We Are Here. The prophets were right. The prophets were right. Okay, so we see the visions, meaning the prophecies, they were set for an appointed time. What's that appointed time? The time that we're in right now. That's why it says, in the end it shall speak, meaning be made known. You'll be seeing it and shall not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So we see it's happening. Okay, we see the transition is here. Okay, the MOTB is pretty much here. He's doing away with the USD. Okay, and this is all prophesied to happen. Okay, this is our Revelations 13:11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon. Right, so this is talking about the political system of Babylon the Great. All right. In the ancient days, they were called the plebeians and the patricians. Today, they are called the Democratic and Republican Party. Okay, so what did Trump do when he first came in? Right, he made all these promises about how what he's going to do to turn America back, make America great again. Got everybody on the bandwagon, right? Because what was he doing ultimately? He had two horns as a lamb. I mean, he came in peaceably with all these promises. But now that he's in office, what is he doing? He's speaking as a dragon. Okay, and that word dragon goes back to draconian. Okay, draconian laws. If you know anything about draconian laws, you know anything about Draco, who was an Athenian lawgiver back in the ancient Greece Empire. All right, and he was known for pretty much committing harsh punishments on those who, for some of the most minimal crimes. You jaywalk, you're getting your hands cut off, things of that nature. Okay, I'm just using that as an example, but these are the times that we're in, all right? And this is where these things are now starting to speak and to happen again, okay? And so now this is a policy that he's pushing, okay? And this is going all throughout the earth. I'm gonna grab this in Daniel 8:25. Now just, for edification purposes, this is talking about Antiochus, all right? But as we know, Ecclesiastes 1:9 says, what the things that were will happen again, roughly paraphrasing. So here we are, okay, in Rome 2.0, aka America, aka Babylon the Great, and he's pushing that same wickedness and that same vibration. This is Daniel 8:25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hands, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace he shall destroy many. Right, because this is going to look like this is that peace and safety that the scriptures talk about. Okay, because as they push this forward and as they have been, they come with all these incentives on how this new digital currency is going to be the wave of the future and how it's going to protect you from theft. All right, there's going to have all kind of incentives where you won't have to worry about getting your card or losing your card or Salakia or any of these things happening. All right, you'll be able to access everything just off pretty much the wave of your hand. Now, if any of you know anything about Richard Warner is a top financier in the world, all right, and dealing with the international bankers, all right. And I did a video on a while back where he has a couple of constituents or colleagues or in Switzerland, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because everyone has been talking about this new CBDC, but there's never really been any explanation, all right, or example of what this thing looks like. All right. And Richard Warner got on stage and he pretty much told them, they flew him out there and they showed him what the new central bank digital currency looks like. And he says it is the size of a grain of rice and they're going to put it into your hand. Okay. And that is Revelations 13:16. So we see it's happening right here, right now. So all of you who said MOTB is embargo and all the Christianity sleeper white, no. It's exactly what our apostles, the head apostles from GMS said for over 30, 40 years. That's exactly what it is. And now we're coming into the time where the visions are now speaking. The dollar is getting ready to be done away with. Goes on to say he shall magnify himself in his heart, meaning his mind, because we know Trump is the most proud, most haughtiest president that ever sat in that seat. And he says, through peace he shall destroy many, right? Because this is going to look like the wave of the future and the way to go. All right. As I said, we're going to push it out. You're going to have celebrities, actors, athletes. They're all going to come out. All right. They're all going to be, these are lower level luminaries that are going to help push this onto the masses. Okay. But this is all gradualism. Okay. He just can't come out and say, bam, here's the C hip. Let's get it. You got to get it implemented into your hand no, it's got to be through gradualism. Okay, you have to get people used to the idea, okay? And so that's what's happening. And so now you see in the USD, what he's saying here, that the USD is pretty much done. Of course, it has to be. Okay, it goes on to say, he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, and he shall be broken without hand. So as I said, this is talking about the Antiochus, but this also stands for today. Okay, make no mistake about it. All right, let me get a little bit more of this.
Future, only countries that accept Liberty Coin will be able to do business with the United States.
You see that? Only countries that accept this. Matter of fact, let me grab this here in Habakkuk. Man, these Barakatha Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man. Barakatha Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. He's bringing it to pass, man. And this is beautiful. All right, this is Habakkuk 2:5. He said, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, meaning his policies, right? His legislation, his laws, his philosophies. Goes on to say he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Right. America has 800 military bases all over the world to push their agenda. Okay, in over 70 or 80 different countries. He says, who enlarges his desire as hell and is as death. And here's the point, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. So how's that being done? By the way, chiefly, as we see right here, through this currency. Okay, because what we're witnessing right now is a race to the fourth industrial revolution. All of these different countries are on a race because whoever holds that title is going to be, who is that? I think it was Amschel Rothschild who said, give me control of a nation's money and I care not who makes its laws, roughly paraphrasing. So with America still being the hammer of the whole earth, still having control of the world currency, okay, all nations are now, just as with the USD, in order to do business with America, because America, we don't produce anything. We're a consumer country. We make all the countries rich. Everything you have in your house comes from another country, was made, designed, manufactured in another country. All we do is buy. So what is he saying? He's speaking as a dragon. Look, if you want to do business with us, if you want to continue to have that cash flow and that money coming in, you're going to have to get our digital currency. Okay? So if you have the eyes to see, this is happening right now before your eyes. Okay? That's why it says he's heapeth unto him all people. This is all a part of the NWO, the New World Order. Okay? Grab a little bit more of this.
It isn't just a currency war. It's a clash of values and a battle for sovereignty in the digital age.
You see that? And I just mentioned that. It's a clash for sovereignty and a battle in the digital age for who's ever going to rule, who's ever going to have this fourth industrial revolution. Whichever country people say it's going to be China, it's going to be, no. It's going to be Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Okay, 2nd Ezra 6:9 says, what Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So what is that saying? In the end of the world, in the end of times, Esau is going to be ruling. And we know Esau to be the self-proclaimed white man. Okay, so there ain't going to be no China up next. There ain't going to be no Russia up next, nothing. Okay, he's living out the blessing Isaac gave him in Genesis. All right. And we're coming into the time in that same chapter where he says, and the elder shall serve the younger. When is that? In the kingdom. So this man is being brought down as we speak. But this is one last ditch effort, and he's getting ready to show all teeth here. He's going to be getting ready to be balls out on you Jakes out here, man. All y'all that still playing games and thinking that this wasn't what our elders and apostles said it was, you're going to be caught in a pitiful case, man. Now you see IUIC, now they're wiggling around. Well, now it's a digital thing. No, don't try and jump on it now. Okay, for the longest time, you've been saying it was everything but what we've been saying, starting with our apostles. Okay, we always known starting with our apostles, it was the MOTB, it's digital. Okay, that's why it says no man shall buy or sell, Revelations 13:16. What does that mean? That's talking about what? Commerce. How the hell do you get religion and sleeping with white women from damn commerce, man? Let me grab this here. 13 and 16. There you go, right there. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor. This is what's happening right now. Free and bond to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. What is that? That no man may buy or sell, save he who have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So what did Trump just say? You are not going to get any money from the U.S. You're not going to continue to be rich unless you have what? This is leading to the mark. Now we have the Liberty coin, a digital coin. Everything is going digital. You see? These are the times that we're in right now. Go back here, Slovakia. Let me grab that here again here. Let me just get out of here altogether. So let's get back to it. Let's see a little bit more of this video and I'll close out.
Some call it the end of dollar hegemony. Your entire savings could be wiped out overnight. The dollars you've been saving all your life are being forced out of service.
See?
Tell us what you think in the comment section.
Right. It's being forced out of service, right? Forced out of circulation because we have a new currency that's coming in. All right? That digital currency is coming in. 2nd Ezra 16:18. The beginnings of sorrows and great mournings, the beginnings of famine and great death, the beginnings of wars and powers. The powers shall stand in fear, the beginnings of evils. What shall I do when these evils come? Right, because this is going to cause such a disruption. Okay, because now you see everyone's going to be in a panic. The banks are panicked. The keepers of the house, all right, which we know in that's talking about the financial world. Okay, they're all in a panic and an uproar right now. So you're going to see people running to the banks trying to pull their money out, so forth and so on. Okay, because they know something is coming. All right, but the prophets have been out here, okay, starting with our apostles for 30, 40 years, telling you this time is going to come in. But Jake needs to see it, unfortunately. That's why our scripture says, in the day of thy power, they'll be willing. Well, you know what? In that day, it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. So all of y'all that are out there laughing at us, calling us all kind of, walking around there with capes out on the corners and talking your shit on the comments, coming up scoffing, you're going to be held in a pitiful case and you're going to be destroyed. It says famines and great deaths. You're not going to be able to buy. You're not going to be able to do anything, okay, unless you have this digital currency. You see, so we're moving in that direction. We're here. It says, behold, famine and plagues, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute. Right. All these things the Lord is putting out here, all of this hell, look out here into the earth and see what's happening. These are all scourges. These are all judgments so that you may amend your ways, Jake, that you may get right, that you may see, okay, damn. Okay, this is actually really true. This is really happening. Let me get my stuff together. You see, but what it goes on to say in 2nd Ezra 16:20, but for all these things, all these things that are happening out here, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Right, all this stuff happening, Jake gonna smoke a blunt and forget. You see, goes on to say, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. And that's what the problem is, because Jake can still go out here. You can go to happy hour. Okay, Big Shirley can still go get her 2 for 2s. You got a lot of these women out. You can go to your spas and your saunas and have all of these teats and stuff out here. Everything is still cheap. So you think that you're in a good case, right? All this is happening. But what does it say? Even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. You see? So this is what's happening right now. This is what's coming into fruition. We are here. Make no mistake about it. We are here. Because what John saw on the island of Patmos, he saw chipping stations where people were lined up and everywhere getting sea-hipped. He saw it. That's a vision that's getting ready to pass. You're going to have a lot of these churches are going to be sea-hip stations. Right? A lot of these Walmarts and these grocery chipping stations, sea-hip stations. I got to watch what I say. So it's here. Trump just announced it. Okay? Who we like to call Nero. Nero just announced it. Okay? It's bye-bye to that paper money, that fiat currency. All right? That was backed by absolutely nothing. Okay? But the men of the Lord, that's why we have to be mindful of the things that we do. Matter of fact, let me grab this here. I'm going to grab a precept here. This is Matthew 16. Let me grab that. My break is almost over it, but I just want to hit you real quick. I'm going to bring this into the screen so you can see it. It's Matthew 16 and 20. Looking on here too. Discipleship is costly. Okay, 16:24. Then Yahushua said unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. Right, so the men of the Lord, thus far, we have denied ourselves. So let's go into this word deny. Let's get that here. Let's deny. It's a Greek word. I'm just going to get the
Strong's G 533. Aparneomai.
Aparneomai. You see that? Okay, so let's go into what does it say here? To affirm one's acquaintance or connection with someone. To affirm that one has no acquaintance or connection with someone. Right, those of us who's turned away from the world, turned away from Babylon the Great. To forget oneself, lose sight of. One sec here. Give me one sec here. I got my thing going off here. P-O-N-E. Salaki, one sec, y'all. Give me 1 second here. Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you give me 1 second here? Give me 2 seconds here, and I'll be right with you. I was right in the middle of closing something out. Okay, and that word deny here really quick. Let me grab this on the view entry. Here, deny. There was one that was really good one here. And it says to basically to say no. Slovakia. Let's see if I can find it here real quick. To deny, to abstain. Thought there was another. Yeah, here, let me see. After Strong's here too. It goes into to deny something offered. Okay, the beast of hand himself, denying a person of his followers, denying the Father, denying the Son, since this is regarded as one's own interest, unlike oneself, for whose sake, something, here it is right here. Not to accept, to reject something offered. You see that? Not to reject something offered. So what's getting ready to be offered out here? We already talked about it here. Let's go to Revelations 3 and 10. So that's what? Because thou have kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon the whole world to try them. You see, when you go into that word try, and grab it should be paran. 1 second here. Yep, right here. Yep, parazzo. I want to get the actual, because this man's been going to here. Let me go here. Let me see what this says. Just bear with me a minute. Brazo, all right, attest, to prove, to render. Okay, and purpose or quality, one's maliciousness, attempt to, all right, to solicit, to sin, to tempt, coming upon the whole world, a temptation of the devil. As said, the exception to trust. And there is an objective, endeavor, scrutinize. This man has been actually changing it up, ain't that crazy? But it goes on to say, as a matter of fact, if I can show all. Let me see here. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's paran, which is to pierce through, is what it goes into. Okay, well, I can't find it at the moment, but we know that's what that's talking about, okay? It's paran, which means that word try means to pierce through, going back to Revelations 13:16. So these are the times that we are in, okay? So anyway, I just want to do a quick lesson. Abarat Azah was edifying unto those who were to receive it. And I want to say, Kol Hol Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rachachodash, Shalom. Double honors and salutations to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom.